It's Jen, the board game librarian, and I'm joined with maybe the ultimate special guest, my husband Matt.
Hi, everybody.
Matt, known as the Dice Chucker on Instagram, and the maker of the board game librarian. Oh, this is going to be fun. So I brought Matt on today to talk about why we love War of the Ring. So why don't you start off, Matt? Or kind of maybe our history about Lord of the Ring, why? Because you were the one who was interested in it first.
So in 2004, we went to a Barnes & Noble, and it was there. And back in the day, I looked at the price tag, it said $80, and I was like, whoa, no thank you. And I put it back, and then found out maybe 2-3 years later that it was harder to get, and I probably should have just done it when we had the chance. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and finally Ares Games did the second edition, which we ended up getting right away before that went away as well. As you can see, this is a game well loved. We even have a separate insert somewhere behind us that has all the chits in it, because with all the minis and the boards in here, it just doesn't fit, and it's a mess. No matter how you try to fit it all in. So War of the Ring was one of our first major designer games, and that's rough because, you know, our previous designer game experience was Battle Cry, and
Mage Knight.
And Mage Knight. So this kind of fits somewhere in the middle of all that.
Does it though?
I don't know. The first time I read through the rule book, I had that sense of, wow, okay, I know how to play. And then I sat down, and I'm like, I have no idea where to start. And I think the two of us struggled through it for a while. Because it was so massive to get into.
I talked about this at length before, but Matt had played board games quite a bit before then, and even had a lot of video game skill, which I had zero of. I played some like Mario Kart, and that was about it. And I was a champ at Minecala, which is why I love Five Tribes. So when Matt brings this home, well, my mom had gotten it for us for Christmas. So it comes home, Matt, does all the rules, he puts it out, and when you've seen War of the Ring on the table, it's a beast. Like, it's so intimidating. And I think I was sabotaging it a lot.
Yeah, you didn't realize how much you were trying to make this game sink. Every time I would say, let's try it, I think we got this rule wrong, or, hey, we've been playing, we haven't been really delving into what some of these cards mean. We were definitely picking out cards to play that were simple to understand right away, instead of actually learning all the rules at once. And there were times when you would say, okay, set it up, so when I get home from work, we can play. And then we got home from work, and Jen was like, well, we could do other things.
That's a typical Jen diversion tactic, too, I should say, just in life.
So I got the feeling that if I had waited so long for this, let's make sure that I know how to play this game the right way. And I stumbled upon Ricky Royal's channel on YouTube. And he finally basically gave me the easiest way to learn how to play War of the Ring, which I believe is watching it played. And or playing along with somebody who's explaining every move. So I did that. I set the game up in front of the TV, put the game on the coffee table, and I did all of his moves. I didn't even roll my own dice. I put the dice out to what he rolled, and I figured it out. And there's a lot to this. But I would say it's the first game we owned that was so heavy in its theme.
Yeah, I think maybe when we moved our game room upstairs to what's now the office and craft area, so our game room has been down and up and down, where it currently is now, that we kind of got into a groove after a while, and we started actually playing the cards, because card play is so essential in this game. And for me, I always play the shadow player, because moving the fellowship in my brain is just, I don't know. We should play this again soon. I'll beat the fellowship this time.
you say so.
If I say so. But I wholeheartedly agree with Matt. The theme on this is just almost par none. I would say Rebellion, but this is better than Rebellion. And we do have a lot of other really great theme games. I mean, if you've seen our collection or watched any of our videos, the theme is like everything with us. But you feel like you are playing Lord of the Rings. You feel like you are reading the books, watching the movies. The tension is there. We've had some really epic games of this too.
I know that one of the criticisms you get when you get an in the box game is, oh well, the game is eventually having me simulate the books and or the movies. And with this one, this is one of the few games I actually feel like, okay, we're starting in a specific point in the story and go.
Yeah.
You really do your own version of this. I had a game where Boromir helped Frodo throw the ring in Mount Doom, and it was you
I'm not
tried,
a Boromir fan.
yeah. And I've had other games where we've had somebody separate from the Fellowship and just stand in a region by himself the whole time.
Was that me that time?
Yeah, and you just left, I think, Legolas out
Yeah, probably.
somewhere, and he never did anything.
Yeah. So we've taught this game at Gen Con for Aries. And I'd agree. It's really one that you need to be taught by someone who knows how to play it already. It's one that you need to go over to someone's house where they've already set it up, because setup is a beast on this too. And that person learning can just sit down and play the game.
The first expansion, Lords of Middle-earth, I would say, is one that can be added easily. The Warriors are a little more tricky.
It's only the ends, right?
Yeah.
We don't play with that one as much.
We don't play with that one as much as we should. I know there's people out there who love that expansion. It just, I much preferred the smaller one for that, and I know there's another expansion coming out for it. So.
Yeah, Aries is doing a reprint of this soon. I think this summer it's supposed to be coming out. So when people say, "Oh, should I buy it?" Yeah, you should buy it, because even if you don't end up liking it, trying to find it in print is so tricky. And you can always sell it, and I think there's always a buyer for War of the Ring.
I don't know about this copy.
Not this copy is so trashed. I would say too, one of the reasons why I love it, is just kind of the evolution of how I've grown to appreciate it. From going kind of to
You went from the evolution of I don't like this game and I'm going to make Matt not like this game
sorry.
to it's both our favorite games in the collection.
Yeah, there's been a couple that have tried to oust it. I think Gloomhaven for You had come pretty close.
Yeah.
But this is the ultimate Lord of the Rings game. We do have Journeys of Middle-earth, which we've played about half of it. We started off really good, and we're kind of feeling meh on it now. We had the LCG, which we ended up selling, and we had that silly little roll and write.
Oh, yes. Journey to Mount Doom, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do have Knizia's Lord of the Rings as well.
And I know you don't like that one. I do.
We're running out of time on this memory card, so we're going to wrap it up. Thanks to my husband, who is now running the camera, for joining me on Why We Love War of the Ring. Thanks.